Listen to him. He knows everything.
Yesterday we heard how Russian bombers flew dangerously close or buzzed an American warship. Today we hear that Russia is picking on smaller fry too. Crazy Soviet Premier Vlad the Insaner has threatened Ukraine if it puts its oar in with NATO. Putin had what seemed to be civil talks with Ukraine's president, and then his eyes went crossed, his head span round, and green vomit poured from him like a pea soup garden hose. He would blow Ukraine off the map and turn it into a sculpture park if they allowed the US to place a missile shield on its territory. I exaggerate for effect, but the idea is the same. The whole world's gone crazy. It's not a missile base he's objecting to, it's a missile defence system. In other words, if you try to defend yourself, he'll kill you. A perfect catch-22, and a certainty for raised blood pressure all round. As it is round Heathrow, too. Nothing to do with Putin, though. It's the planes that are boiling people's brains. The sound of them from 5 in the morning to last thing at night, every 90 seconds, is sending people's blood pressure right off the scale. Even if they sleep through it, they're still getting hypertension. And hypertension kills. So planes kill. And not in an exciting wish-I'd-got-that on my mobile's camera sort of way, but slowly and surely. Which is ironic, as flying is the safest form of travel. There's no more secure way of getting from A to B than flying. Soaring through the air with the greatest of ease is quite the least dangerous form of transport known to man. It's the smashing into a ground in a giant fireball that's when the problems start. Never get onto a plane that's actually on fire. It's Nick's travel tip. If you learn nothing else from this show, then what a waste of time this will have been. But that is really, really annoying, the sound of planes from first thing to last thing at night. And you can tune it out to a certain extent, except for the first one. Because I think they're lying to us when they say that it starts at about 6:30, because there's planes that don't carry people that come in earlier than that, and they make this weird sort of noise. They sound fatter and heavier. And they come in at sort of 5-ish. And if you wake up with the first one, then there's no getting around it. It does make you insane. That and the man dragging the furry alarm clock past my window every morning. Yeah, that thing. So what's the most annoying noise in London? I'm going to make a list. Planes. Especially the first one at 5:30. Yappy dogs. Now, I don't mind dogs that are, proper dogs. But things that women put in their handbags, it's not a dog, it's like something you'd see on a charm bracelet. So that, planes, yappy dogs, and the voice at Sainsbury's. Now, I'd never used these self-service checkout. It's like I'm doing a show in the food court here. Look at the two of you. Good grief, don't they feed you? It's like a chimpanzee's tea party. Are you all right? Are you hungry? Assurient? Peckish?
Well, I'm here all day.
Oh,
not
shut
like you,
up.
where you swan in for 3 hours.
Stop whining.
Planes. People chewing on the air. I'll write that down. People chewing what sounds like crisps with their mouth open. People chewing with their mouth open. If you've got anything you want to add, then go ahead and give us a tinkle. 0845 6060 973. Most annoying noises in London. The Sainsbury's thing. Now, I never check out my own produce, through the self-service thing. It's very okay, tomorrow, can you eat before you come on? Because I've eaten before I got here, and I'm hungry now. The voice that says there is... there's an unexpected item at the counter, or something like that. It says there's an unexpected item on the scales.
What? In the baggage area.
In the baggage area, yeah. That's right, in the baggage area. An unexpected item. What is it? Horse manure? What would it... Why unexpected? As though it's saying, oh, blimey, what's that? We got it off the shelf. Unexpected. What a bizarre choice of words.
It's because it's not been scanned, but there's weight on the area. That bit under the bags is weighted. It's like a scale.
Yeah. But that's just a bizarre choice of words, though. And every time I hear it, it annoys me. I don't know, I've just taken an unreasonable dislike to it, and the voice that's saying it. Oh, here's another one. Unexpected item in baggage area. I'm going to write this out longhand. It's the only way I know how. Underground announcements. They are really beginning to hack me off. Now, I was listening to LBC yesterday, and I can't remember who was talking about this, but somebody was. On and on. I thought I was the only person that got irritated by this, but apparently the London Assembly or some other august body has been discussing this, and they're trying to ban it. London Underground, they seem to have given the microphone over to people who want to be DJs, hey, and they just never stop talking. On and on. And Earl's Court is the worst. You just want to shoot them. And I don't mean that euphemistically. I mean, I actually want to shoot them. With the baggage thing and the don't stand too close to the edge of the platform thing and the no smoking thing, and then we've got a normal service, at which point I go, oh, blimey, is that the best you can do? But it's just way too much, and so I'm going to write that down too. London Underground announcements. I'm going to make a list. London's most annoying noises. You're not happy with that, Raj? He can't speak right now because he's got his mouth full. 0845 6060 973. I'd also like to talk about... there was some more in the press today about the mosquito thing. We didn't hear from the man who invented it. So I'd like to read what he says. There was a couple of excellent letters in the Times, I think it was today, or maybe the Telegraph, about the mosquito thing. They were basically putting the complainers back in their box. And also there was a profile of the Sir what's-his-name, who was the children's commandant. So I'll get to that. Global warming is in the papers again. It seems like the same 5 stories over and over and over and over and over and over and over again for as long as I can remember. It's just the papers doing the same 5 stories again and again and again. We need some sort of, I don't know, like a local disaster or something like that to take their minds off global warming, drunken kids, state of the NHS, health. That's all that's been in the papers for as long as I can remember. But first in, let's see if we can get some of these on this list. East London. Hello, Alan.
Oh, yeah, Nick, how are you?
All right, thanks.
Good, good. You're saying about annoying noises. I think car alarms are so annoying, because no one takes a notice of them anyway. Same as building alarms. There's a shop across the road from where I live. The alarm goes off almost every night for a good hour or so.
Really?
And nobody takes that notice. You ring the police and it's like, yeah, okay, but nobody comes out there to turn it off. And the other thing that annoys me is, the seatbelt alarms. Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah.
God, isn't that annoying?
Yeah, bongs in cars, yeah, for whatever reason it might be, yeah. Seatbelt, you left your lights... Well, actually, the light left on thing, that is helpful.
Yeah.
The amount of times that I've done that. So that bong can stay. But the seatbelt bong, I mean, I know I haven't got my seatbelt on, you don't have to tell me.
Exactly, yeah. It's like saying you got your flies undone or something,
Yeah,
you know?
that's exactly right, yeah. But,
okay, well, that's my little piece.
All right, good man. Thanks a lot, Alan.
Cheers, you're welcome.
Car alarms. Could you, under pain of death, recognise your own car alarm? I've got no idea what mine sounds like. Making it almost pointless. Because that's your call to arms, to rush out to the street to protect your little motor. And I've got no idea what it sounds like. It could be plaintively wailing for hours, and I would be blissfully unaware that it's screaming my name.
There's one that a lot of cars had in the States when I lived there, and it's a whole range of different noises, and it goes like
Warning!
yeah, all of that. That's like a little kid's toy.
Yes.
And my friend had one who went off every morning next to his house, and he could just do the whole. Like
really sing along with
the noises, yeah. He knew what was coming next,
like a parrot
every morning without fail.
Excellent. Well, it's not excellent. It's really, really annoying. And the few occasions that there has been a car like that, with the persistently just going on and on and on and on and on and on and on, you just want to take a sledgehammer to it, just just for some payback. Can you turn that telly away? I can't concentrate with the constant, colourful, flashing images. My brain just grinds to a halt. All right. Planes at 5:30 in the morning, yappy dogs, people chewing with their mouth open. Alex. I'll put Alex in inverted commas, in brackets. An unexpected item in the baggage area. All of London Underground's announcements, car alarms, and bongs inside cars. Got any? 0845 6060 973. It's 7:44. LBC Travel with Amanda Redmond.
We're still looking at some delays at the moment.
The biggest challenges faced by business professionals: leaving work on time. At the end of the day, you're stuck at the office because everything you need is on your computer. That's why you need Go to My PC, because with Go to My PC, you have secure access to everything on your PC. Go to My PC automatically downloads, and within seconds, you can have access to your office desktop, so you can work with all your files, emails, programs, even your network. So you get home at a decent hour. Not a dreadful one. Go to My PC has won the World Class Award for remote access from US magazine PC World 4 years in a row, and now you can try it yourself with a 30-day free trial. Just visit gotomypc.co.uk, click the Try It Free button, and use promo code LBC. That's gotomypc.co.uk, Try It Free button, promo code LBC. Access your PC from anywhere. Try Go to My PC free today. Conditions apply.
Fabulous.
I'm collating a list of the most annoying noises in London for no other reason than I just thought of it as I sat down. No, I didn't. I've been planning this programme for hour upon endless hour. Berkhamsted, Ivan.
Hi there.
Yes, Ivan.
Yeah, the dustbin trucks, a vehicle is reversing noise.
Yeah, the vehicle is reversing noise, yes.
Yeah, I get out on my street and it sounds like the vehicle's reversing for about an hour.
Right. Yeah, I feel your pain. That's a good one. Thanks, Ivan.
Thank you. Bye.
0845 6060 973. I think that much of these are going to be idiotic health and safety stuff. Like the bongs in your car before you put your seatbelt on. Bong, bong. With a corresponding light flashing at you. Like if you're blind at the wheel of your car, then there's a helpful bong. And the vehicle is reversing. Any vehicle that's got one of those on is as large as a house. You can see it's reversing. I mean, if it's dangerous for it to be reversing, then surely it's dangerous for it to be going forward. So perhaps all cars or vehicles of any stripe should bong every time they're set in motion. London's most annoying noises. I've also got the Ken Livingstone's cycle hire plan. That's not going to work. We were talking about this a lot yesterday, the congestion charge thing, and there were a few things that didn't occur to me. That it's like you're having a verbal joust with someone, and you think of a stinger like 3 hours after you've walked away and lost the argument. Well, there's a few things that he's obviously not thought about, or he has and he doesn't care, and he's not really serious about any of this. It's just electioneering. So it's one of the two. Either the whole thing is daft, or this is just like a smokescreen to make us feel more positively about him. You know, the forthcoming mayoral elections, the elections for which I would imagine a lot of people listening to this right now would wish for a box that says none of the above. It's like, write your own candidate in here. I'm just so dispirited with the choice that we've got. I think I'm going to have to vote for somebody by default, not because I like the person, but just I can't stand any of the others. Well, that's not a good reason to vote for somebody, is it? That's dreadful. London, quite possibly the most exciting and important city on the planet, and this is what we're faced with. This is our choice. I think it's a blooming outrage. I mean, if the mayor was actually just a figurehead, like the Lord Mayor of London, the chap who parades around in his finery on Lord Mayor's Day, if he didn't actually do anything, if he just had lunch and dinner and, toasts and so on, then who cares? But he does. Come to find out that the Lord Mayor, actually, not the Lord Mayor, the Mayor has great control over the quality of your life. And I'm sure most of you thought that wasn't going to be the case. I thought that Tony was insistent on that the mayor was going to have no powers at all. But he does. It's really quite annoying. Particularly because this is what the choice that we're left with. There is the Green woman, about whom I've heard nothing. Is she still in the race? Oh, an echoing silence.
She might be.
Right. See, I've got no idea. Isn't that terrible? There must be at least 10 or so others who we've not heard a peep about. Maybe some of those are less boring, but none of them have got a hope of being elected, and so you really are stuck with the top three. And I just think, is that it? Nick Ferrari would be a better choice. Let's have a bloke on the M40. Hello, Guy.
Hi, Nick.
Guy.
Just ringing about the inappropriate noises and things like that. And the one thing that really gets my goat is vehicles that have massive silent or massive exhaust on them that are completely inappropriate.
Yeah.
You can put them into two different categories. You've got one, the guys who put the massive silencers on like little Honda 125s or something like that.
Yes.
So you're walking down the street and then it sounds like, you know, the whole of the MotoGP is coming up behind you.
Right.
And it's just a bloke trying to deliver pizza. And you're actually walking faster than him in his... in that. And then the other one is cars, like, again, same sort of thing. You think like you've got a Formula 1 car sitting next to you. It's actually a bloke in a Fiat Uno with a stripe down the side.
And a set, or like an aerofoil on the back, on his,
yeah, definitely. And you know, those flashing lights that make you look like Kit from Knight Rider and stuff like that. But then you're thinking, it's the Fiat Uno.
I know, like they would need an aerofoil on the back to keep them on the ground. They're going so fast.
They can go really fast sometimes, especially downhill.
Yeah, like off a cliff.
Yeah, and the fact is, most of the time they're just driving around town anyway, so they're not going to get above 20 anyway, so...
Well, I suppose it keeps them out of their bedrooms and off their Sony PlayStations, I suppose. Yeah.
Boy
Racer exhaust pipes. I'll write that down. Thanks a lot, Guy.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
London's most annoying noises. Bishop Stortford. Hello, Les.
Hi, Nick.
Les.
Nick, I've got four for you.
Go on.
First one is minicabs waiting outside your window at 5:30 in the morning, not turning their engines off.
Well, worse than that is them not getting out of their car and ringing the doorbell, just sitting there and beeping the horn.
No, worse than that is ringing the wrong doorbell. Because I had somebody from Radio 1 used to live below me, and she used to get picked up regularly, and they used to ring my doorbell instead of hers at 4 o'clock in the morning.
What, wonderful Radio 1?
I'm allowed to say it, sorry.
Well, you just did, and I sang it.
Another one is scaffolding being delivered early in the morning.
Oh.
And they clank the scaffolding.
Yeah.
Another one is people going swimming at night time, climbing in and bunking into the swimming pools. And in the summer, when you've got your window open, the noise carries for miles.
Well, people with pools in their own grounds are really annoying, because there's something about a swimming pool that makes kids shriek a lot. And they just can't stop shrieking, and the noise echoes around and over the water, and that is a nightmare. Yeah,
it's worse at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, quite.
And the worst one of all is when old people go on holiday, they congregate by their coaches at 5:30, and the noise from them, they're shouting and screaming because they're really pleased to go away. I don't know, that gets me as well.
Old people.
Well, the young people, they kind of sit there, normally kind of wasted from the night before.
Right.
Old people are up early, they're all haven't seen each other for a while. And
chattering away,
Yeah, and it's really noisy. And anyway, that was my four.
I've written them down. Thanks very much, Les.
Yeah, bye.
Cheers, mate. Ta-ra. He lives in, he lives near a pool, near where old people hang about, and where, and next to someone from Radio Fun, and where scaffolding goes up a lot. Blimey, it's like noise. Bishop Stortford, doesn't it sound like peaceful and quiet and green? The way he's described it, a blooming nightmare. New Haw, Henry.
Hi there, Nick.
Henry.
Ivan already beat me to my first one, which is that beep, 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 reversing.
Yeah. It's like infantile. We can see it's reversing. And if reversing, like I said, okay, so they said, oh, well, the driver can't see where he's going and you can't see the thing. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, you can't see a thing the size of a house.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Because cars don't have it, and cars can't see where they're going either, because, we're scratching and fiddling with the radio and shouting at the passenger or the radio.
Anyway, there's another
having a fag, thing. Yeah.
And apart from that awful, that just drives me nuts, but do you know what? I hate those cars that have got that doof, 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 like bass bin thing about the size of a car horse, I suppose it is in the back. I wish you could get one of those. You can get those guns that shut people's mobile phones off. That people
what, shotguns.
People zap on the truck.
Oh, an electric gun, right?
Yeah, I'd just like to have one of those that made their car explode or something like
yeah.
that.
Well, actually, the amount of times I have fantasised about using a rocket launcher on someone's car that's outside, and they've got the top down and the stereo up, and it's going like that. And you just think, oh, just with one strike, that would wipe the smile off their faces.
Yeah, they go, why is it not working anymore? I don't know.
Yes.
And the other thing is kids on buses that play stupid rubbish music like that bit that you just played on their mobile phones.
Yeah, for the the delectation of everybody else on the bus.
I know, everyone enjoyed it, don't they?
No. Yeah. All right, people's MP3 players. In whatever way they're doing it, whether they're doing it on the little speaker or just sitting next to somebody with it coming out of their headphones. Yeah, drives you mad.
Well,
I can feel my blood pressure rising as I'm making this list. This isn't doing me any good at all.
That's right. I mean,
Henry, I've got to go because here comes the news. But thanks a lot, mate. All right, I've written those suggestions down. London's most annoying noises. 0845 6060 973. This is LBC 97.3.
The boiler won't stop banging.
I really like you. Do you like me?
Annoying noises. We were talking about this yesterday, but we didn't hear from the man who actually invented this mosquito thing that's upset Shami Chakrabarti. Crazy name, very ordinary gal. And some other Sir something or other. Now, I'm going to give you a little lowdown about the Sir something or other, who's the children's minister or some such silly thing like that. But here's the word from the man who invented the mosquito, and then I'll get back to your annoying noises. If you got one, compiling a list of London's most annoying noises, I've got a good 15 or so at the moment. 0845 6060 973, and then there'll be one overall winner, which will win a major prize. I'm lying about that. This is the chap who invented the mosquito, that anti-teenager device. I came up with the idea of the mosquito 2 years ago when my daughter returned from a local shop very upset. About half a dozen lads were drinking outside and were very abusive. She came home crying and empty-handed. When I went to the shop owner to complain, it was obvious that there was little he could do to move them on. Of course. As a dad of 5, and with a background in security, I realised that there was a demand for a product to solve the problem. Within a couple of days, I developed a prototype of the mosquito. I parked my car across the road from the rowdy lads and tried it out with the window down, and I turned the device on. Within 15 minutes, they'd had enough. And they left. He says, I couldn't hear anything at all. For 3 months, I worked on developing the product. I would drag my kids into the living room and subject them to a variety of noises which they had to grade from 1 to 10 according to how annoying they found them. Within 3 months, the first mosquito was ready. The first sale was to a spa shop in Barry, South Wales. I've been there, actually, and I know why they would want one. My customers now include Marks & Spencer's, McDonald's, Coral the Bookmakers, and more. They're delighted with it and wouldn't be without a mosquito on the wall outside. After all, most people are fed up with not being able to go to the local shop without being intimidated. The Children's Commission and the human rights group Liberty, who oppose it, just don't understand how the mosquito is to be used. It's not supposed to be switched on 24 hours a day. That way it targets the majority of youths when, of course, only a minority are involved in antisocial behaviour. I designed the mosquito to be used by businesses only when they were experiencing trouble and switched off once the threat has passed. Well, that makes perfect sense, because businesses wouldn't want to disperse all potential customers under the age of 25. That would be daft. The safety of the mosquito is unquestionable. It operates at just 85 decibels, which is lower than the traffic on most high streets. I would like to know how loud London Underground gets, because sometimes it gets so loud you want to put your fingers in your ears. But that would look uncool, so you just stand there and take it and gradually go deaf. I'm sure it's like rock concert volume going in some of the tunnels. I mean, if you're sitting there with your little MP3 player on and you've got it up as loud as it goes and you still can't hear it, then there's a problem, you'd have to say. Back to this thing. He says it's loud and annoying, but it won't damage your ears. As with an alarm, after 4 or 5 minutes, you either want to turn it off or get out of the vicinity. If somebody genuinely doesn't have a place to go, they'll come to no harm if they remain near a mosquito, like if they're passed out, for instance. Rather than criticising my product, the Commissioner should look at ways to get disaffected youths off our streets. The mosquito isn't the silver bullet for Britain's antisocial problems. That would be a silver bullet. Oh, no, wait. But that is a harmless way to provide respite from the minority of young people who make people's lives a misery. Yeah, and they're not kidding about that either. And you sort of say that phrase and you think, oh, yeah, making people's lives a misery, and then you just carry on. But the people involved, their lives are actually being made a misery. And you have to sort of dwell on that and think about it, because if it's not actually happening to you, you can't conceive of how awful it must be. And they're whining, Chakrabarti and this, whatever his name is, that it's abusing kids' human rights. What a load of old cobblers. I mean, really, the stuff you hear. This is a letter in I think this is a Times. Sir, the mosquito anti-gang device has been criticised again for not discriminating between thugs and well-behaved children. One could argue that these devices designed to disperse groups of youths are only installed in areas that have serious gang-related problems, and therefore well-behaved children wouldn't want to be there anyway. Perhaps the inventor could produce another device that targets human rights campaigners, and we might get some respect back in society rather than having everyone's human rights protected except the innocent victims. Pick a hole in that. I double dare you. Here's another one. Sir, I suggest Shami Chakrabarti and all those others who oppose the mosquito device come to live where I do for a month. They can enjoy the merry noise of 30 teenagers congregated outside their house all evening, intimidating older residents and causing petty but upsetting and mindless vandalism. Then they can spend 20 minutes a day outside on their hands and knees picking up the litter that's been left all over the street. I guarantee you that within a month they'd be calling for the police to use a water cannon to clear the street. Yeah. It's the people who don't have the problem that are doing all the whining. And I think this is the Express, helpfully pointed out who this Sir Al Ainsley Green is. This is the chap who said, oh no, this is all got to come down because it's abusing children's human rights. He's what's his title? An echoing silence. Still you're saying nothing.
Why are you asking us? You've got the story.
Sheltered in his rural retreat, Professor Sir Al Ainsley Green is unlikely to be troubled personally by youth disorder. This is the guy that's telling shopkeepers to take this thing down. The £1 million plus property he lives in is in leafy Wiltshire, protected by high walls, dense hedging, and a sturdy gate. Sir Al, 64, a father of two and grandfather, were appointed in 2005 to act as an independent voice for children and young people, championing their interests and bringing their concerns and views to a national arena. He was appointed in 2005. I've never heard of the bloke. He's not done a particularly good job of bringing these things to prominence, has he? I've never heard of him, apart from now. Guess how much he gets paid every year? That's right, £130,000.
What?
Guess how he got the job? Correct again. He sat a 1-hour written exam set by a panel of 11 to 19-year-olds, and then was interviewed by 2 panels of teenagers. He was recently a leading figure in the anti-smacking campaign. Thank you, sir. May I not have another? Half a mile from his home is a one-stop shop, where staff have experienced the misery of antisocial behaviour. One said, "We have to cope with these kids all the time. Unless they're actually outside Sir Owl's house causing the trouble, he can't possibly understand what it's like." Yeah. And there's a lot of papers who were, to spat the dummy about this, saying, basically giving Sharma Chakrabarti and Professor Sir Owl, the finger. In no uncertain terms. As I think should we all. New Cross, hello Fred.
Hello. Supermarket bleeps.
Supermarket bleeps?
When you're going through the checkout.
Oh. Beep.
Bleep, bleep, bleep.
Yeah.
Do they need therapy after a shift on that?
Yeah, well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? What, with having to deal with the general public as well? Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't they just turn them down a little bit?
Yes, that's right. Or have some sort of visual cue that the machine's taken it.
Well, they might be epileptic. Somebody will come up with something like that, but...
Yeah. All right, thanks, Fred.
All right.
Supermarket bleeps. Sounds like a game show with Dale Winton.
With a lot of swearing.
Yeah, late at night, yeah. Does Dale Winton still look like a walnut? Like a puffy nut?
Orange one.
Yeah, he's about 8 feet... You couldn't miss him. I mean... He's about 8 feet tall, he's bright orange, and his skin, it must be, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch thick. You could, make a suitcase out of it.
I quite like, in my local supermarket, because the parking is underground. So it's on basement level, and you walk upstairs to get into the supermarket itself. But by the amount of beeping going on, I can tell how busy it's going to be and psych myself up for the crowds.
Right.
Is that sad?
No, I suppose that's, you gird your loins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Hampstead, hello, Mike.
Good show, Nick.
Thanks, Mike.
Oh, yeah, right. Not a very good impersonation, was it?
Of what?
Of the woman who calls you knickers.
Who, Carol?
Yeah.
Was that you doing Carol?
It's difficult to do. Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, it's oh, right, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah,
That was you seriously trying to do an impression of Carol. That was terrible.
Yeah, I will go along with you there. That's not my forte.
No.
Noises.
Yeah.
Firework explosions.
No, they're all right. They're exciting. There's something exciting about fireworks.
I thought you were going to disagree with me. You see, although you're getting older, you're not old enough.
No, I suppose not, no. I don't know everything yet.
Yeah. Garden machines, leaf blowers.
Well, no, I will definitely agree with you there. Leaf blowers. Get out a bloomin' rake, for crying out loud. Leaf blowers. Yeah.
And the main one, Mayor Dying Stone's voice. Yeah, but the other day you were talking about people's knowledge of history.
Was I?
You were.
Prove it.
Well, I thought there was a good example of that on Friends, the American sitcom.
Oh, yeah.
Rachel was staying with
Everybody
Ross.
needs good friends.
And she said he made her watch the Discovery Channel all day. And then she said, something boring happened to this ugly guy in the Middle Ages. You like it? No.
I like it better than your Carol impersonation, which is to say, not a lot.
I'll work on it. Oh, right, yeah. Is that anyone? No. You've got to play it more often, and then I'll get it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, definitely yes.
No.
All right, cheers, Mike. Ta-ta, mate.
Okay.
It was the happy, exciting sound of Mike in Hampstead. Beside himself he was. 0845 6060 973 8:15. LBC Travel with Maggie Doyle.
Well, delays are easing off now on the...
Right, so what are we doing?
Carol, I'm doing this. How would you like to be a member of the LBC 97.3 Film Club with Cineworld Cinemas and see the best films first and for free? This month, the movie is The Bank Job, a highly charged thriller based on a true story about an unsolved robbery which has links to the royal family. Jason Statham is in it, and so is Saffron Burrows. For your chance to see this film and others, just go to the website lbc.co.uk and sign up to the VIP Club, the LBC 97.3 Film Club, with Cineworld Cinemas. London's most annoying noises. I have a list that stretches to about 20 things at the moment, the last of which was Ken Livingstone's voice. Thurrock. Hello, Greg.
Hello, Nick.
Greg.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Yeah, the annoying noises, you're in the truck and you're being buzzed by cyclists and motorbikes and people are cutting in on you and nudging in front.
Yeah.
And you've got red lights and everything is and you're trying to hold it together, and then a smug voice pops up and says, "Turn around when possible."
Oh.
And you just and you just think to yourself, you've put it on yourself because you've missed the turn. You know, it wasn't her fault.
Yeah.
And you end up having a conversation with her and trying to put her down, you know.
Well, shouting and gesturing, yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't pay the slightest bit of attention to you.
And it's their calmness that starts to irritate after a while.
Exactly.
Yeah, like this, and it becomes as though they're being smug about it.
Yeah, you're surrounded by mayhem, and she never loses a cool, and that's
right.
What makes it annoying.
That's exactly right, because you're losing your temper.
Yeah.
And she is maintaining perfect calm. Yeah.
Exactly.
Makes you want to rip that thing off the window and chuck it out, doesn't it?
It does. And the other one, most of these sounds seem to be, not necessarily for London, but they're electronically generated, you know, so I think that's half the problem, isn't it? You know, where you know, it's not the sound of you know, I know your furry alarm clock, but most of these things aren't part of the natural world.
Yes.
That's what contributes to it.
I suppose so, yeah. Apart from the dog, nothing we've had so far is organic. Huh.
Well, old people.
Oh, yeah, old people, yeah.
They're sort of organic. Because the other one is...
they're recyclable.
Yeah, for a different reason, is cashier number 4, please.
Right.
For the same, you know, she's still got that smugness. In fact, I think she's the same woman. She probably smugs for big companies. But it just... What it does to me, it reminds me very, very quickly that I'm a drone. You know, that I'm either depressed that 20 people in front of me are going to hear that and it's going to be for them. And then at the end of the 20th announcement, cashier number 4, I start to get happy and pleased with myself about it.
But the thing with the thing with the cashier number 4 voice is that it sounds as though she's inviting you to go and pick up flowers.
Yeah.
But you're actually in the revolting surroundings of a post office.
And paying me car tax.
Yeah.
But she doesn't seem to be bothered.
No, so the sound of the voice doesn't fit your surroundings. It should be something more along the lines of, yeah, hello, something like that.
Yeah. Here's another mug.
Exactly, yeah. All right, thanks a lot, Greg. Cheers, mate. Ta-da.
Thanks, bye.
Yeah, cashier number 4. But not if it were, you know, sort of like in a cake shop, something like that, then that would be fine. But in the uniquely depressing surroundings of a post office, it's just awful, because it jars. Unless the post office is advertising with us, of course, in which case they're super shops, and I like them so much, I'm going to pitch a tent next time I go. Honestly, what is wrong with post offices? They haven't spent any money on them since 1973. Why do they look like that? And why do they sell plastic toys? Like, that's where they're going to make their money. London's
what plastic toys do they sell?
Like all sorts of rubbish, yeah, like cards that make noises and cheap plastic crap they bought in from China. Just sell stamps. The other thing that's really annoying about post offices, it's not a noise, it's just, it's a type of behaviour. Old dears who haven't had a conversation so far today and then spark up one with the cashier.
And they've got no idea of the 200 people behind them tutting.
No, they don't. The cashier does, of course. They couldn't care less because they're behind bulletproof glass. But it's like, oh, and she said, oh, and then my lumbago's playing up, and then my bunions, and then, you know, there's a list of my current maladies. I would never burden you with a list of my illnesses.
What?
How about the ones that really annoy me is when you're waiting in the queue and there's a cashier that's just counting some money or something, and they're like teasing you. Go,
Yeah, I know.
No, you can't come over to me yet.
Exactly, yeah. Go and camp somewhere else and stop teasing us. You're right. London's most annoying noises. Ottershaw. Where's that, Kathy?
It's in Surrey.
Surrey?
Yeah, in between Chertsey and Woking.
I would have sworn it would have been in Yorkshire.
Oh, no. No.
That would have been Ollerenshaw. That's up there north, somewhere dreadful
is it?
like that. But Ottershaw, Surrey. Oh, it sounds delightful, Kathy.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Is it? Right.
Not really, no.
Okay, go ahead.
Right. I don't know if you'd said this because I've since driven home and come indoors, so I've missed a couple of minutes. But it's again about supermarkets.
Yeah.
And it's the 2-storey high supermarkets that have got the conveyor belts going from the bottom floor to the top floor.
The what?
2-storey supermarkets. There's one in Weybridge, which is within Greater London.
What's on the conveyor belt?
Well, no. Oh, sorry.
Steak
what
knives,
you do is
cuddly
you walk
toy.
on the conveyor belt because you can take a trolley on it.
Oh, you mean...
So you go up the conveyor belt.
Right, it's like an escalator.
Yeah.
Without any
the
steps.
flat one.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
And you can hear...
For people
this
with no
same
knees.
robotic voice for absolutely miles around. And all it says all the time is, you are reaching the end of the conveyor. Please prepare to push your trolley off the end of the conveyor. And it just repeats that over and over. And even when I've got up the other end of the store, it's in my mind so much, I'm repeating it the whole time I'm in the store.
I mean, what else would you do at the end of the conveyor
Exactly.
but push your... we've been treated like morons.
Exactly. I just think, oh, for God's sake, you're not going to hope that it'll push it off for you, are you? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's that they're treating us like infants.
Yeah.
That's where the annoyance comes in.
Yeah.
And this is a recent thing that everyone has to get treated like their children.
Yeah.
And can't think for themselves. Yeah.
No. And it's the tone of this woman's voice as well. It's just so irritating. I'm so glad when I come back out.
Right. Okay, I'll, I don't know quite how to put that, on this list, but I'll find a way of putting it down. Thanks a lot, Kathy.
All right, thanks.
Cheers, my dear. Ta-ra. You could vote with your trolley and go push it somewhere else. Or nick something as you go around, just to get your own back. Or eat. People eat when they go around, shops, don't they? They pick from the, get some grapes, eat those. Alex is still eating, an hour and a half after the show started. How can you still be eating?
I'm a grown boy. Outwards.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Horizontally. So how would you say that? How would you put that? In few words. Put it in few words, win a major prize. Go ahead. There's no tiebreaker. Call now. How would you put it? The voice of travelators. There you go. I did it. Hooray for me. Here's Crayford. Hello, Richard.
Hi there, Nick.
Right, fine, thanks.
Good stuff. I think I've called you up about this before.
Oh, yeah.
It really, really annoys me.
Go on then.
You're standing there waiting for your train. You're running slightly late, and you're just watching the clock tick on.
Yeah.
And you're looking down that black tunnel, and you hear a voice come on and say that your train is delayed. Okay, you think, not only is that bad, then it follows up by saying, I am sorry for your delay.
Yeah, like really sorry. Yeah, I bet you are. Okay, I'll write that one down too. Thanks a lot, Richard. All of those announcements on transport, absolutely. This is LBC 97.3.
I took the
It's most annoying noises. Planes that start at 5:30, yappy dogs, people chewing with their mouth open, unexpected item in the baggage area, London Underground announcements, car alarms, bongs in cars, vehicle reversing alarms, these and many more. Have you got any? This is LBC 97.3. It's 8:30. To be followed by Clive Bull at 10 o'clock. Big Bill Buckley is in at 1 o'clock. Steve Allen at 5. Nick Ferrari back with the breakfast show at 7 o'clock. To be followed by James O'Brien. Then the delightful Jenny Barnett at 1 o'clock. James and Petrie back with Drive again at 4 o'clock. LBC's 97.3 Nightly News, half-hour roundup at 7. And then it all goes downhill. Nothing we can do about that. Now, of course, it's not a happy story. He's a billionaire who lived in fear of assassination. He's been found dead at his Surrey home. And when the news people saw that name, they must have freaked out. I bet they've been sitting in their little room practising and practising and practising and practising. Badri Patar... Oh, I wouldn't even know how to begin. And they say it like that, as though it's a word that they call their cat that name. They just throw it out there, don't they? Badri Patar Katsish... I'm looking at it and I can't do it. Anyway, congratulations to them. Let's hope that the next person that is assassinated by the dark forces of the Soviet Union has a shorter name.
Oh, you know that raid the police did on the drug house?
Yeah.
This morning they used the JCB.
Yeah, that'll solve the drug problem. How is the war on drugs going, by the way?
Fabulous.
Do you reckon they had a sweepstake or drew straws to see who would get the driver digger?
Yeah, almost certainly, yeah. In much the same way that whenever they go over someone's famous's house, someone's house who is famous. Right, who wants to go and
arrest Amy Winehouse again?
Oh, me, sir. Yeah. Chelmsford, hello, Flash.
Hi, Adrian. I mean, Nick. I'm getting mixed up now. How are you?
I'm all right, mate.
Yeah, I was just thinking about this litigation and that, because London Underground giving you the warning for Mind the Gap.
Yeah.
Because it's all to do with litigation. I think we should all sue the government because they didn't do the 4-minute warning for the start of war on terrorism. So we've all got a claim against them now because they didn't sound the sirens. So technically, we're not at war because they didn't give us the warning.
Right.
So we should sue them. You know, because obviously we need warnings nowadays for everything. And we haven't had a warning for the war. I mean, the last war, they had the sirens and the church bells go off. This war, they haven't. So we should all sue them.
I'll get straight on that.
Yeah, everybody in the country, let's sue them for 1 million each. There's, 60 million of us times 1 million? That'll be a bit of money, won't it?
Well, it'll be cheaper than bailing out the Northern Rock.
Yeah.
I'll definitely think about that. Thanks a lot, mate. 0845 6060 973. London's most annoying noises. Or anything else that you got. I don't... this is not the rule. I ain't making rules up here. Anything that's on your mind. Crouch End. Peter.
Hi. To get these annoying kids back into shape again. Simple. Repeal that stupid law, put a couple of big strapping coppers out and let them clip the little sods around the ears a couple of times. That should sort them out quite quickly.
Right. Okay, I'll...
And with regards to annoying noises...
Yeah.
Police sirens at 2 o'clock in the morning going down a completely empty street.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. It's completely unnecessary. Why do they do it?
I don't know.
Other than I bet that they've instructed to do it because of health and safety. If anybody is, slightly deaf...
Health and safety, I mean, they wake everybody up.
I know.
Startle everybody out of bed. That should be part of the health and safety.
Well, yes, you're right there, because people could die from the shock. Or they could not get enough sleep that night and then
fall out of bed.
Drive into a tree the next day because they're not awake enough. Yeah, you're right.
Or fall out of the bed.
But that should be the law. You should not be able to put your siren on unless you're in... unless you absolutely flat out need to. After 11 o'clock. We're not allowed to bib. We're not allowed to bib our horns past 11 o'clock as part of the highway code.
All right. To warn around there.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot, Peter.
Okay, sir.
Cheers, mate. Ta-ra. 0845 6060 973. Police sirens at night. That's right, though. I think I've got that right about the highway code. I've never read it, so I'm just making it up. But after 11 o'clock at night, you're not allowed to beep your horn. I never beat my horn. It seems like a step too far. It seems like an escalation of in an arms race. Because where do you go from beeping your horn? Going and getting the tyre jack and bending it over someone's head.
It's not far away.
Police sirens at night.
I try and do a little toot.
Before you set off?
Before, if someone hasn't seen a green light or something.
Right.
Usually it's the headlight flash. I think that's London etiquette, is the headlight flash
But you're not
first.
allowed to do that. According to the highway code, you're not allowed to flash your lights. Like, if you're letting somebody out of a side road, something like that. Say they're not driving, an Aston Martin, and you're actually considering letting them in. Then you're not supposed to flash your lights, because that gives them the impression that all is clear, thereby putting the onus on you, the flasher, to keep them safe. But you can't do that, because you haven't looked around. You can't tell how fast their car goes, whether they can get out of trouble or not. So you're not supposed to flash your lights and let them in. They're supposed to just make up their mind that you're letting them in. Nor are you supposed to bib your horn under any circumstances whatsoever, unless people have really, peed you off. I think that's what it actually says. With a little cartoon of a bloke pulling his hair out. Having a little toot, which is probably where you got that from. Kensington. Oh, Joan.
Hello, Nick.
Hey, Joan.
Yes, you were going on about these noises that way on the station and in the supermarket.
Yeah.
Well, what about nearsighted and blind people? They can't see, they have to hear.
Hear what?
Oh, if they're going along with a trolley and there's some sort of danger ahead. And if they're on the station, I mean, they travel by tube, you know. They want to know if a train's coming. See? I've got you, haven't I?
Well, not really, because then everything should have a voice on it all the time.
What do you mean all the time? Isn't it always all the time?
Isn't what always all the time?
Well, whenever you go on the platform, they always announce the
Yeah.
train is due or is coming into the station.
Over and over and over again, and don't stand too near the platform edge, and don't smoke, and we've got a normal service, and it just never ends.
I don't know what platforms you go on, but they're certainly not mine, the ones I go on.
Oh, well, you're Kensington, though, Joe.
No, I'm more Earls Court than Kensington.
Earls Court is the worst. What are you, deaf? I'm going to send you some Q-tips in the post. They never shut up at Earls Court. It's awful.
I know, but you still get blind people going on the platform.
Right.
Right.
Well, that's fine. Blind. I mean, announce what the train is. I mean, when you get on the train, it tells you what station you're on, and I find that helpful because sometimes the thing is packed, and you're reading your little paper there, and you can't remember what station you're at. So that's useful. I don't object to that. But it's the constant PA announcements and they just seem to make this stuff up as though they can't stop but use the microphone.
But the trouble with, I must admit, in Earls Court Station, I can't understand what they're talking about. Because
sometimes you do hear foreign voices that are so impenetrable that you've got no idea what they just said.
Absolutely not.
Why would they choose somebody who doesn't speak English well
exactly.
to make a PA announcement?
I mean, I can't understand them. How else can other people? I mean, I must admit I'm on your side where that's concerned.
Right. Well, that makes you right then.
That's true. Okay, nice.
Thanks, Joanne.
Thank
Cheers. Ta-ra. London's most annoying noises. We've got quite a list now. You boys haven't come up with anything. I'll give you a few seconds. Who's parked on 10? They've got no name on it.
James and Chiswick.
Right. Chiswick. Hello, James.
Hi, Nick.
James.
Enjoying the show.
Oh, cheers, mate.
It's the theme of underground announcements at stations.
Yeah.
Something quite specific. It's the word alight.
The light, yeah.
You'll hear something like, "This is Temple Station. Would passengers for the Tower of London please alight here?" I always just wonder that tourists, they're trying to look this word up in their, their little translators. Who uses that word?
No one.
Exactly. Are they going to just start becoming human torches? Or I just never get that.
And not in the history of humankind has anyone ever used the word alight, apart from on London Underground. Yeah, you're right.
Can you imagine, they must have gone through so many different versions of that announcement, all sat in a boardroom and gone, yup, this one, definitely alight, yup.
I bet it wasn't like that at all. I bet it wasn't a committee. I bet it was some old duffer who just wrote it down, and the person read it, and it's been like that since forever.
Yeah, maybe.
And it's that sort of constipated, uptight 1950s British way of speaking. Like, our road signs are the same. You go to America, and they want you to cease your forward momentum at the end of the street. A big sign says stop. Here it says give way. What does that mean? Give way to the cars that are coming from the... They don't mean give way. Just stop. Just say stop. But no, we've got to throw as many syllables and as we can in as po-faced a manner as we can at it. It's the British way.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, I've written it down. A light. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Nick.
0845 6060 973. London's most annoying noises. Primrose Hill. Peter.
Hello, Nick.
Peter.
One noise that we haven't been affected by in London is the sirens, the warning sirens for the war on drugs. I just thought I'd throw that in.
All right.
Apropos your earlier caller. Now, I was calling about the 27 bus. They have an announcement tape, or whatever it is, on there, which goes from Chalk Farm to Turnham Green.
Yeah.
And they announce every single bus stop in this very loud woman's voice. And also they repeat each bus stop, they repeat the destination of the bus as well.
Well,
drives me insane.
Well, I don't object to that, because, like that nice lady said just before, there's people who can't see where they are.
This is true.
Plus, you get...
so loud.
Eh? Well, I don't know about that.
And of course the other thing is when one night I was coming home on the bus and they got it the wrong way round, so it was on an eastbound bus with a westbound announcement.
Right.
So they said, we're coming up to St Mary's Hospital, and half a dozen people on the bus said, oh no, we're not, It's quite funny. But,
right, like a pantomime. Yeah.
It's daft, yeah.
All right, thanks a lot, Peter.
It's just so loud,
Yes, okay, cheers, mate.
Okay.
Everything is getting louder, yeah. As though we have to accommodate people who are hard of hearing, and so all of the rest of us must go deaf for them. In much the same way as, I don't know, it's the infantilizing nature of society. I didn't put that very well. We're being treated like infants all the time, as though we have no sight, hearing, or common sense. As though somebody's gone in with a pair of pliers and pulled our common sense out, and we've been treated like idiots who can't see and hear. For our own benefit. And it's driving us all crazy. That we want to kill ourselves. 0845 6060 973 8:45. LBC Travel with Maggie Doyle.
Liam 25.
I enjoy working with people.
Kind of. 0845 6060 973. Remind me, Raj, I also want to talk about the cycle hire plan. I want to talk about the congestion charge and how it might have the exact... This is not a congestion charge anymore, it's like a CO2 charge in order to save the environment. But it might have the exact opposite effect. And it doesn't take a genius to figure this out, except I didn't yesterday when I was reading his, Mayor Ken's proposals. Mayor Ken, who is, by the way, on this list of London's most annoying noises. I didn't put him on there. I'm just, I'm just the writer. Like a ghost writer. You're the ones that are writing this stuff. I'm the one that's writing it down. That's fair, isn't it? So this CO2 emissions thing is going to have the exact opposite effect to that which is stated, which makes me very suspicious as to what it's all about. Alfie. Richmond. Hello, Alan.
Hello, Nick. How are you?
All right, thanks.
Well, you kind of beat me on the whining hypocrisy of Mr. Ken, our dictator, but never mind, that wasn't really what I rang up about. You said annoying noises, but you said it didn't have to. It could be other things, and this is kind of like an annoying noise linked to an annoying thing.
All right.
And that is the screaming sound that breeders when you nearly rip their car door off, because it doesn't matter which way they are parked. They always seem to insist that they are going to take their child, their infant, the spawn of their loins, the love of their life, out of the door that faces into the road.
I almost killed somebody. Yeah, I almost killed somebody. I almost killed somebody on the way here because I don't know how people can do this, but they park in the middle. Hang on a minute. They park on the side of the road, and then without looking about what's coming, they just open the door and then get out into the middle of the road. What kind of an idiot would do that?
But it's even worse with these women. I tried working out why it was happening so much. And it even happens when they're facing different directions. And I don't have kids, I don't like them, I wouldn't actually wish them on my worst enemy, but they really like them. So you'd think, why would you not make an effort to take the child out of the door facing, the pavement? Or is there some kind of, my child got hit by a car while it ripped the door off policy that I don't know about, that they're all trying to claim on?
Right. I'll check. Thanks, mate.
Okay, mate.
Did he say breeders? I think he did, yeah. Essex, hello, Adrian.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks.
It was just something one of your callers a few minutes ago about things that are said on the train when they say a light's here.
Yes.
And there's one where they actually say, every time you pull up at the station, a light's here for the Royal Institute for the Blind. And I'm just wondering how they're going to see the light.
Oh, you've been thinking.
It was just that, and things that people say generally in everyday. If I phone someone up, someone will say to me, may I ask who's calling? And it annoys me because they can ask who's calling, but they don't expect me to say yes, and then not say anything else.
Right.
And it's just how people actually use the language. They don't understand what they're asking. But have a good evening, and thank you for the time.
Thank you, Adrian. Yeah, may I ask who's calling? The correct answer to that is either yes or no. I'm going to do that next time. Wallington, hello, Joan.
Hello, Nick.
Joan.
Nick, I'm tired again. I'm exhausted again.
Yeah, me too.
I've been up there and I've been back. Oh, it took ages.
Oh, you've been at the Diana inquest?
I did go.
Oh, right,
a little bit late.
This is a very exciting point, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my goodness.
So who was on the stand
It was
today?
Jack Tomlinson all day today.
Right.
All day.
Who is that?
On the video. Or what do you call it? That big screen. He was in MI6 at one time.
Ah, yes.
And
did you actually see his face?
Yeah, the screens, you have about 3 or 4 screens all up, so, you're watching them all the
So
time.
he wasn't like Andy McNabb, he's only seen in silhouette.
No.
Isn't that ridiculous? Sun still prints his picture as just a blacked-out silhouette. There's their defence SAS correspondent. Ludicrous.
And
anyway.
In the background, I'm sure I could hear birds singing on his side, and I thought...
Really? Tweety birds?
Tweety birds, like that. Like proper life sounds were coming out at the same time as his voice.
Right.
Yeah, and of course we had a lot from Michael Mansfield.
Yeah.
Who was in very good form today.
Really?
But very calm. Oh, he was calm. And...
he's
he is Al Fayed's counsel.
Yeah, the counsel, that's right.
And, yeah... But
does he have half-moon glasses that he peers over?
No, I don't think he has,
right.
actually.
He's missing a trick there.
Oh,
has he got a dark blue pinstripe suit?
He wears interesting clothes.
Interesting?
Yeah,
I don't like
like a lot of people wear funny shirts with funny ties. You know that kind? You probably do. I bet you do.
I never wear a tie in my life.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, well, perhaps you have an
I've got ties,
collar that sits at the top of your jumper.
Oh, yeah, I'm a dedicated follower of fashion.
Yeah, that's what you probably have. And you don't, huh?
No, not really, no. I mean,
right.
Raz will tell you, look at me, I'm a disgrace.
Oh, dear. Well, anyway, he's an interesting personality. He's an interesting man to look at.
Right.
Yeah. Ooh.
So, what's your feeling of how it's going to go?
Well, honestly, it went one way and then it went the other today. Oh my goodness! You think, I know this man, because he being in the MI6 and all this, and there was this note and there was this memo, and so on, and then it was shredded. Now, he said that never, when he was in the MI6 at that time, this is going way back, he said nothing ever got shredded.
I find that hard to believe.
Because for one thing, there weren't actual facilities like you have nowadays. It just didn't happen. But the other thing was that you had to put everything you turned down or threw away into a bin. Now, that bin was gone through every evening. And if anything was found in there that wasn't quite what it should be, you were absolutely, for the...
For the chop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
now, is this the chap that said that he saw a documentary about... It's probably the same documentary that I did, and I'm surprised that this hasn't come up before. And I only saw it once, and then I didn't hear anything else about it. This big flash that was supposed to happen in the tunnel, that was supposed to be like Secret Service, like a weapon, like a big strobe light that would blind the driver in a tunnel and make him drive into a post.
Well, what he was telling us about was that when he was quite new to it all, quite young, part of the training was they showed a table with a whole lot of different things that they would use in the course of some investigation or whatever. And
shoes with like stilettos, daggers in the toes, that sort of thing. Yeah.
And one of the things was a sort of strobe light, and it was the kind of thing that you could put a pilot off completely. You flashed it up at the aeroplane or a helicopter.
Yeah, like not an ordinary light, but a really sort of industrially bright light. Yes.
Yeah, but portable, easy to carry around. And a big issue was made of that. How big was it? He said, well, you know, it was just one of the many things on this table.
Yeah.
So, also, there is something about, at the time of Milosevic, that evidently somebody said there was a plot to assassinate Milosevic.
But what's that got to do with...
And that the idea was that it should be in a tunnel.
Oh, that's right.
And that a tunnel with pillars. Being in a tunnel, you have many witnesses.
Right.
So long as they're huge pillars, you've got a much better chance of a big, big crash.
Yeah, so they talked all this through before in exactly the same way that it panned out. Ooh.
Yes.
Now, do you think that, come the end, and they say that, let's just guess wildly, shall we? They'll say, nothing to see here, that it will actually stop people and their conspiracy theories?
No, I think the jury is sitting there. They're absorbing all this every day. You can't ignore it, no matter what you do. You couldn't possibly ignore it. And he does get cross-questioned, even though it's not a trial. He has been cross-questioned, and so many different things that he said. They say, oh, well, you might have thought that because you were very angry with the SIS people, and you obviously, you know, when you were writing your book, you were really still very angry with them, so you might have thought, okay, you know, I'll give them what for and make a big thing out of nothing. But no matter what was said to him, it came back to the crunch, really.
Listen, I've got to go because here comes the news. Your court correspondent. Well done. LBC 97.3.
London. You're wondering what it's all about, and I can't tell you because I don't know myself.
Yesterday, this new suggestion by Ken Livingstone about the extension of the congestion zone to cover the CO2 emissions in cars. But it didn't occur to me at the time that it actually is going to cause more CO2, which makes the entire exercise seem either ill thought out or just suspicious, like it's just a big publicity campaign for Ken, because he's punishing people who got, and the press is calling them gas guzzlers, petrol, 4x4s, Chelsea tractors, blah blah blah. But they're not. These are completely normal cars. Basically, anything that's over a 2.5 litre engine, and less than 2.5 litre engine, well, that's just a sewing machine with wheels. Isn't it? Yes. So it's many more than what the press is suggesting, that these are people with, are driving tanks around, Hummers and such. It's not that at all. But the plan to exempt low-polluting cars from the congestion charge, this is in the Standard today, will hit schemes promoting electric vehicles in the capital, council chiefs have warned. Electric cars, those are hideous things that look like wheelchairs with roofs. They're just awful. I mean, given to somebody who can design a car, it looks like somebody... I don't know, it looks as though someone who's not familiar with the human form has designed them. They're just terrible. The Mayor plans to give drivers of cars including Ford Fiestas and Vauxhall Corsas a 100% discount on the £8 a day charge. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Well, for a start, a Vauxhall Corsa and a Ford Fiesta takes up more or less the same amount of road space as a BMW 5 Series, or 7 Series, or a Mercedes S-Class, or a Land Rover. It's, you know, give or take a couple of feet, there's not much in it, right? On the road, in a traffic jam, it would be about the same. You could pull right up to the bumper of the car in front and get a Land Rover in there, or you could give them a couple of feet and you could get a Ford Fiesta in there. Same difference, right? So, by giving these people who drive these cars 100% discount, there's going to be many more of them. So you're going to have many more cars. And just because they're smaller doesn't mean to say they'll take up less space. It'll be the same amount of space. And if you're going to have many more smaller cars, let's say pump out 200 CO2s per kilometre, is that going to be better than a few cars that just pump out 250? No, it isn't. I'll answer my own question. So, either this is a rushed job on his part and he hasn't thought it through, which seems unlikely, or this is just a load of old cobblers and he doesn't mean it. Just been delivered a nice cup of tea. Appalling. So which is it? Is he actually serious about this? Because if he is, then this is one of the most ill-thought-out suggestions I've ever seen in my life. He's got no idea what he's talking about. Or if he has thought it out, then it's not about this at all. It's about something else. And the something else might be sucking up to all the people who've got small cars to give them a discount, of which there are many. Vote for me. And there's fewer people who are driving around in, plutocrat mobiles, and they won't vote for him anyway. Now it begins to make sense. People who drive Mercedes S-Classes and BMW 745s aren't going to vote for Ken, are they? They're going to be voting for Boris. Or Knick-Knack Paddywhack, at the very least. But they're not going to be voting for Ken, are they? So it doesn't matter if he pees them off, because they're not in his pockets to begin with. Encouraging the people who drive all the small cars, which is all of the rest of us, that would do him some favours, because they could be on the fence. They could be, maybe I'll go with the Laughing Policeman. I've never seen him smile. You know, the nice Paddock. Now, I didn't think that name up before I said it. It just came out. Knick-Knack Paddywhack. That's what Elton calls him. So I'll just go with it. They'd be more inclined to vote for Boris, certainly. So this makes more sense to me now, because as a way to reduce CO2 emissions in London, doesn't make any sense at all. Give a lot of people who would leave their cars at home free reign of London, and you're going to pack London with a lot of small cars, which would be more harmful to the environment than fewer larger cars. Obviously, even a fool like me can work that out. So what's it all about then, Ken? Anybody any ideas? I'm still compiling this list, by the way, of London's most annoying noises, 0845 6060 973, and on this list is Ken Livingstone's voice. I didn't put it on there. I'm just following instructions. M3, hello, Dan.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
I'm amazed at a politician implementing something that he hasn't thought through. I'm just, can't fathom that. It's not as if Alistair Darling just did it with the CGT or anything. Anyway, that's a completely different one. Sorry about that.
All right.
It happens. No, I was just going to come back to the chap who was, 2 points actually. The chap who was upset about ladies getting their kids out of the car the wrong side into the road.
Yeah.
I think he's obviously not got kids. He said that, but it's more about where the child seat's put in, and obviously when you put your child seat on the back seat of your car in your driveway, you don't know which side of the road you're going to park on when you pull up to go to the shops. And from the lady's defence point of view, if anybody's ever tried to get a 2-year-old out of a child seat on the wrong side of the car, they would find it a bit of a struggle. So that'll be why it is, I think.
Right. Okay.
So that he's aware of that. And the other thing I was going to mention is just about the infantised nature of society nowadays.
Yeah.
And I think it's our own fault. I think we've got no one to blame apart from ourselves, actually, on that one. Because, obviously being given a warning when we get off an escalator in a supermarket, it's not for our own good. I'm sure we're aware of that. It's so that we don't sue the supermarket in question for not telling us that the escalator was about to finish. So
You're absolutely correct, sir. Yes, it's our fault.
it is. So all the while we demand to be treated like idiots, I'm afraid we're just going to have to get used to it.
Yeah.
Because if we live in a litigious... That's why it says, you get a coffee from McDonald's, nice hot one, and it's got a warning about being hot,
Yes, that's right.
It's all the same stuff, I know, same old ground, but that's what it is. So we can't blame the supermarkets. It's our own fault.
Yeah, you're right. Unfortunately, that's true. Thanks, Dan.
No problem.
0845 6060 973. And all of this, all of this stuff didn't exist maybe 5 years ago. You could see that it was coming because it happened in America, and everything that happens over there, at least everything that's bad, comes here on a sort of a 5-year delay. So we knew it was coming, and we didn't do anything about it. I wonder if there was anything that we could have done. And now everyone wants to sue everybody else at the drop of a hat, so everybody has to be warned about everything. Caution, filling is hot. Well, yeah, it would be. It's coffee, isn't it? Stupid.
I saw a sign on the back of a truck the other day, and it said, "Cyclists, this vehicle may turn left." It's like, wow, it can go left as well as right and straight. But that's exactly one of those signs, isn't it?
They should have a sign on the back of a Harley-Davidson motorcycle that says, "This vehicle is incapable of turning. It only goes in straight lines." Weybridge, hello, John.
Hi, Nick.
John.
Just a quick point on that health and safety thing.
Yeah.
It's because of the no-win, no-fee brigade. That's why. And obviously everybody that had a little accident, that isn't the reason why I'm phoning up anyway, but had a little problem, would go to a no-win, no-fee solicitor, as in America.
But it's not their fault, John. It's not. Because if they didn't have any customers, they would wither and die. It's our fault.
Oh, yeah, of course. But we're going to them. They just put a little advert, and you go, "Oh, I just fell over that. I'm going to sue Tesco's or whoever it is." And, it's the same with the councils. It's with the hot apple pie, the whole lot.
But you can't blame the lawyers. It's not their fault.
No,
it's our fault.
Well, clearly it must be. But if they didn't have that regulation, no win, no fee, you wouldn't go to a lawyer, would you? If the lawyer...
Well, I suppose so, yeah. But, I mean, there are circumstances in which you could quite justifiably claim compensation.
Of course, but this is why our insurance policies go up for all sorts of things, and buildings, contents, you name it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you run a business, your insurance is massive.
That's right. I mean, it's a very good system for people who need it. It's just that the system is being abused by us lot.
That's right. Well, I was phoning about the CO2 scenario.
Yes.
I've got some inside info on this one anyway.
Oh, yeah.
The bottom line is the company that runs it all has to have a guaranteed minimum revenue for the next 8 years, number one. So
which company are you talking about?
It's Capita, I'm not sure.
Oh, I see. The company that's running the
amount
cameras.
Of infrastructure, all the cameras and little vans that go round cost hundreds of millions of pounds initially before even a car drove in.
Right.
So that's why it went out from £5 to £8, because there was a guaranteed minimum and it started to work. So consequently, they did all their figures, or Ken did, on so many cars coming in. I pay a cheque to you, Mr. PLC, and that's all fine and dandy. And then he couldn't make it up, so he said, "Okay, well, a few cars have not come in now, so I'm going to have to put it up so I get more revenue for less cars coming through." That makes sense, obviously.
Yes.
But what's happened now is if anybody thinks that if they're going to get a cheaper car, smaller car, less emissions car, first and foremost, I don't know about you, but can you just buy a car tomorrow because it's cheap?
No.
£8,000 for a brand new car because it's the lowest emissions?
Yeah,
People
no.
can't do this.
No, you're right.
So that's that first one. Secondly, when everybody, like you said, jams up the roads with their little small cars emitting 120 grams per kilometre or whatever it is, Ken will go, "Hang on, I'm not getting any money. I need to charge all those guys." So anybody that's thinking that it's going to be a free reign has got
They're
their
dreaming.
head in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because it is going to happen, and it's guaranteed for the next 8 years. I don't care what you say, and it doesn't matter whether Boris or the other fella says, "Oh, I'm going to get rid of it tomorrow." He can get rid of it, but by Christ, he's going to pay about £500 million to get rid of it. And I'd like to see who's going to pay for that in London.
Well, we would, but it's not going to happen, because unfortunately, no politician unpicks a way of getting money from the public. They just add to it. We'll never get the money back. They just continue to take it in a different way.
Absolutely. So people, beware. And the people who drive the big S-classes and the 4x4s, there's a bit of ignorance around, because 4x4 is obviously an easy target, but it is the emissions. And you can have a 2-litre petrol car from about 5 or 6 years ago, and believe me, that chucks out as much dirt as a 2-litre Freelander.
Yes, yeah, absolutely
And that's
correct.
not a 4x4, that's just a standard Vauxhall whatnot.
Oh, a Vauxhall whatnot. They're one of my favourites. Oh, they drive like a dream.
You know, an ordinary car that a lot of people have
Yeah.
are just as dirty. And then there's the vans.
And then the buses. Don't get me started on the buses. John, I've got to go because guess what's coming up? The travel news. Yeah. Thanks, mate. 0845 6060 973 916. LBC Travel with Maggie Doyle.
Anti-clockwise on the M25. Still a bit...
Anybody care what this guy thinks?
No!
I'm compiling a list of London's most annoying noises. We've got quite a lot. I'm also talking about Ken's plans for the CO2 zone, as it must now be called, because if it is a congestion zone, then it doesn't make any sense to allow a lot of little cars to come in for free, because it's just going to make things worse. And you could, like that last chap was saying, if you decide to sell your larger engine car and buy one of these small ones because you think you'll get into town for free, then your pleasure will be short-lived, because he's going to turn around and charge you for those immediately after his re-election, should that happen. You know he will, because otherwise we'll come to a gridlock again. It'll just be slightly smaller cars. It makes absolutely no sense. And this these electric cars, these hideous electric cars, which are actually a very good thing. Councillors in Westminster have are sort of up in arms about this, because they're one of the few councils that are actually putting ways to recharge your electric car on the streets. And now, of course, because and these electric cars were popular, despite their hideous styling, because they were free to get into town. But if anybody with a Ford Fiesta and a Vauxhall Corsa and all the rest of those small cars can do it as well, why would anybody be seen dead in one of those electric cars? Thereby ruining that whole environment-protecting initiative. Nothing about this makes any sense. Grimsby. Hello, Chris.
Hi. I'm just calling. I lived in London for quite a while, and the most annoying sound in London for me is all the pigeons flying around, walking around.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd share that with you.
All right, thanks very much, Chris. I'll write that down. Cheers, mate. You know, there are some councils that, and I've only recently realised this, they put anti-pigeon guards underneath bridges. Now, I don't know about you, but when you go underneath a bridge, I always feel like I'm playing like Russian roulette with bird poop. You never know when you're going to get it, and it would ruin your day before it's even started, right? But they actually put, like, cages above where pigeons nest, so they'll go in the street, because they don't block those off, but over pavements. And when I saw it, I thought, wow, I can't actually believe that a council will go to such trouble to protect us in that way. It just seems beyond the realms of possibility that they would actually have thought that through and done it. Because you'd think they would just leave it, you know, oh, who cares, sort of thing. But there was a bridge in America that actually collapsed under the weight. Not under the weight, but because that would be an awful lot of birds. But under because it was weakened by pigeon poop. Did you hear about that? 0845 6060 973. London's most annoying noises. I've got quite a list going at the moment. If you've got any, then contribute, and then we'll decide a winner at the end. And the judge's decision is final. Eltham. Hello, Phil.
Hi, Nick.
Phil.
Hi. Most annoying noise.
Yeah.
Those pole drivers where they're building a new building make an awful, dreadful noise from a huge distance around them.
Yeah. Okay. I'll know that that's beyond annoying, though. Really, isn't it? I mean, you could say a nuclear explosion would be an annoying noise, but that's
to be dead.
Yeah, that's one louder than annoying. But I'll put it down anyway. Pile drivers.
Well, can I say pneumatic drill, or has someone already said that?
They haven't. No, it's a bit obvious, but I'll stick it down anyway.
Yeah. But about Ken. I'm sure. Sorry, you must be bored to tears with hearing about Ken. But my personal feeling is that he's fundamentally a communist, and that's it. And he objects to people doing well for themselves, and that's all there is to it. So he resents people who have made it in life on their own terms, who have got a nice, decent car, and he just punishes people on the sake of that sort of socialism.
Well, I'm not sure that's true. I mean, if he was against the city, then you could say that there was something in that, but he isn't. He seems to be bending over backwards to accommodate what the city wants, letting them build tall buildings of some of them look nice, some of them are absolutely bloomin' awful, like that thing that they call the walkie-talkie now, that's wider at the top than it is at the bottom. If they build that, it will be disastrous. But some of the others that he's okayed, like the Shard of Glass and the ski jump and all these other silly names that they're giving them, the corkscrew, they look great. Go ahead and build those. So it's not anti-money or anti-business or anti-success. This, to me, just looks like a way of inveigling himself in the affections of people who drive small cars, of which there are more than people who drive, plutocrat wagons.
But what you say about the buildings, wouldn't he sort of have? Isn't his hand forced on that sort of thing anyway?
Well, I don't really know. I'm not sure what how it would go if he said no, but he's not saying no. He's actually encouraging it. So it seems like a false accusation to say that he's against people making money, because that's what the city does. That's all it does. And he seems to be, doing everything he can to accommodate them.
It's just I can't understand why. Sorry.
You've rendered yourself speechless.
I have. the skyscraper thing's thrown my thing out of the water.
Right.
Problem.
Because I've heard this before, that, it's all class war, and he's only going for what they call the Chelsea tractors, which is just such a silly name. Of course they're not Chelsea tractors, actually those things, they're too big for London, there's no doubt about that. Yeah. But you could say the same for, bendy buses. They're too big for London as well.
Yeah, and as far as... personally, I think it's OTT with the buses anyway.
Well, I think if there's one reason to be upset with Ked Livingstone, it's for getting rid of the beautiful old buses that you could with the hole in the back of them that you could get on and off. I saw one in the Strand just the other day. Is there one route that's still got those working? My eyes almost dropped out my head. I couldn't believe it. I wanted to run up and give it a quick hug.
Yeah, there is. I think there's a heritage route,
really,
or something. Yeah, because I see one quite often on my way in.
How come nobody's saying none of those? If any of the candidates for mayoralty, is that right? If any of them said, "I'll bring back something a modern bus that looks exactly like the old one that you could hop on and off the back. I'll do that if you vote for me. I don't care who they are. Adolf Hitler himself could be running for mayor, and I would vote for him." Or have I gone too far?
A little bit with Hitler, but there's a number 15 bus which goes past through the city, and that's a proper operational route, which is still the old route master.
Really?
Yeah. That's interesting.
Well, it's a classic design, and if you go to a tourist shop, you'll see classic London icons. There'll be Big Ben, a Beefeater, a cab, and a London bus. And it ain't no modern London bus with the pneumatic doors at the front. It'll be an old one that you hop on and off the back. That's it's a symbol of London.
Yeah, and let's face it, in a congested city full of those yellow box junctions, the last thing you need is a bus that's
an articulated bus. Yeah,
a football pitch.
I know. It's just that's insane. Yeah. So there's some decisions that don't make any sense at all, and there's some that make you think that, and people who call this station call him like a class warrior, and it's the politics of envy and so on. But then there's some decisions he makes that throw that notion right out the window.
Yeah, mate. it could be, Nick, in my humble opinion, that he's just got an ego. Well, that's obvious, isn't it? But he just wants to stay in power, whatever it takes, whilst having a sort of socialist undercurrent.
Well, perhaps, but I think the wanting to stay in power, whatever it takes, that's not him alone. That's all of the ruling class. But listen, I've got to go, Phil. Here comes the new news. It's 9:30. This is LBC.
London's biggest conversation.
There's be more noises that irritate than the ones that I've got already. There's a list of, rough calculation, about 30 or so, I'd say. Pigeons cooing is the last one. Planes at 5:30 in the morning is the first one. Many more in between, and whatever you'd like to add to it. 0845 6060 973. It's 9:30 on LBC 97.3.
Well,
you bet your life it is. 0845 6060 973. Catford. Trixie.
Hello.
Hey, my dear.
I've got an annoying noise.
Right then.
And it's on in the soaps, and when you have the microphone close up to two people, and you can hear them breathing and talking, and you can hear the saliva, and as they get closer and closer, you know you're going to get that horrible gurgling sensation when they kiss, and you can hear every tiny drop of saliva.
Ew.
That really gets to me.
Well, I protect myself by not watching soaps.
That's what I've done too. I haven't watched TV since September. But that is the kind of noise that really gets to me. Sometimes you get it on the tubes.
What?
Well, you don't have the microphones underneath them, but you do get some people, getting hot and heavy. Haven't you noticed them?
No.
No, of course not. You're
On the
in car.
tube?
Yeah.
I use the tube. I've never seen anybody getting hot and heavy on the tube.
Well, they probably realised it was you and then behaved
Oh, yeah, that's
themselves.
right. Because I'm so famous, yeah.
Yes.
On TV, though, the best use of breathing that I've seen is the Sopranos. You won't know this, but it's the Sopranos.
Absolutely.
It's as though he's having difficulty drawing air through the holes in his face, and they mic him up so close, it sounds as though he's just barely clinging to life all the way through. It's a very effective use of breathing, because it also, if he's breathing really harshly, it also sounds as though he's furious all the time.
I see, yes, rather like Orson Welles. Because they mic him up very close, didn't
right,
they?
yeah.
So why don't we say the closeness of microphones, close microphone noises?
Right, or just
you make
heavy breathing.
Well, heavy breathing doesn't cover kissing, does it?
No.
There's a sort of salivary effect.
I don't think that kissing can be included in the list of irritating noises.
It's the squeaking, is and the slobbering of tongues. You know, what I mean? It's not very nice.
No, the way you do it, definitely not. No.
No, that's just what I'm doing with the phone.
Oh, that's an example. I see.
I'm trying to get an example of two people kissing. There's only one person of me here. Yeah. My cat isn't up for it.
I'm saying nothing.
How are you, Nick?
Best policy, I think.
Yes, I think so.
I'm super. Thanks for asking.
And are you looking forward to your holiday?
Oh, more than I can express in words.
Oh, I'm so pleased. Are you coming back, though? I'm worried about that. So you are coming back?
Well, who knows? It might be. I might like it so much that I might just,
You might just stay away forever.
Pitch a tent, yeah.
Oh.
No, I very much doubt it. If they'll have me, I'll be back.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay. Well, look, wherever you go for your holiday, when are you going? Is it next week? The week after?
I've got another week.
Got another week?
Yeah.
All right, then. Well, you do what you can with your show, and we'll all try and prop you up, because you'll be exhausted by the time you get there to your holiday.
Yeah, no joke.
Blimey.
I get no days off me.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you even manage it.
I'll soldier through. I'm so brave.
Stop whining.
Brave little soldier.
That's right.
And will you send me a postcard?
Yeah, no. But thanks for asking.
Oh, that's all right.
Cheers, my dear. It's all right.
Bye.
0845 6060 973. I'm going to complete this list at the end. I want one from at least one from you two who've remained utterly silent throughout.
Now, if you actually drive a tractor into Chelsea, What does it come under on the congestion charge? What if everyone started driving tractors?
Yeah.
That would be novel.
I saw a guy in what, you know, there's like a small tractor that they use, that the councils use to cut grass.
Oh, to mow lawns.
Yeah, and they have the arms that go down
Like
when
wings.
they're actually cut, and then they pull them up like stealth aircraft on the USS Nimitz.
Yeah.
They fold their wings back. He was stuck behind me today as I was, going down the road, minding my own affairs. And he didn't want to wait, so he mounted the pavement and drove past the stationary traffic. I'd say about 40 yards just to turn left, driving down the pavement. This thing that looks like, well, an instrument of death, bearing down on people walking along the side of the road there.
Was it a wide pavement?
What a nutter. No, it wasn't. Just because he didn't want to wait.
He could have had someone's eye out.
Let's have Mayfair. Oh, Anne-Marie.
Hi, Nick.
Anne-Marie.
Actually, you were talking about buses. It's the 9 and the 15 that are still running on the old Route Masters.
Really? Where do they go?
Along the Strand and sort of around the sort of tourist areas.
Ah.
And I've got the most annoying noise in London, again, connected with buses.
Oh, yeah.
About 3:30 in the afternoon, when they kick the kids out of school, you get the secondary school children. I have never heard anything like it. It's like Chimp's Tea Party.
That's not buses, though. That's kids.
I know. They should be banned.
Kids.
Yeah, altogether.
I'm with you, Anne. I'll write that down.
Okay, bye.
Thanks a lot. Children. Awful. They're like people, but smaller. Surbiton. Hello, Paul.
Hi, Nick.
Paul.
Yeah, I like the show about annoying noises. They ring a bell, most of them.
I'll put that down. Bells.
Bells. It only happens in certain bars and with certain bar staff. You've been stood there for about 3 weeks. You know, you've grown several layers of beard. You're almost keeling over with fatigue. And someone comes up and says, "Are you waiting to be served?" No, I'm here to split the ass.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Yeah.
I'm just surveying the wine selection.
Some people have got a knack about that, though. I mean, you'll stand there and you can feel the hairs on your eyebrows getting longer, and then somebody will just march up next to you and get served instantly.
It's not where you're being obnoxious and waving your notes frantically at them. You're just standing there, politely.
Trying to make eye contact, yeah.
And they say, "Oh, are you waiting to be served?" No. No. Very annoying.
All right, I'll note it down. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks.
0845 6060 973. Are you thinking in there?
Yes.
Blimey, are you on strike?
No, I was thinking yes.
Okay. That's all I need to know. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was something that happened... okay, you want old-fashioned advice for married couples? Or naked streets? Naked streets
advice.
Isn't necessarily what you might think.
Oh, we'll go for that then.
I'd like to hear the old-fashioned advice.
Old-fashioned advice for marrieds?
Is it just sleep in separate beds?
No. Married couples in their 20s have the highest divorce rate in Britain, which by definition must make it one of the highest divorce rates in Europe. Despite an army of counsellors and therapists and a vast array of self-help books and courses. This is in The Sun today. This is the only paper that had it. Don'ts for Husbands and its companion volume Don'ts for Wives were published in 1913. Now both books are being republished, and here is a selection of their suggestions. I think I'll save this until... I'll tease ahead. So these are suggestions for husbands and then for wives, about how to keep your marriage intact and what you should not do. It's not do-dos, it's don't-dos. Did I say that right? About halfway through, alarm bells started ringing in my mind, and I thought, I'll just forget it and just carry on. Everything will work out fine in the end. Okay, so I'll do that momentarily, but first, it would be rude not to. Golders Green. Farah.
Hi, good evening.
How are you?
Not bad, thank you. Two most annoying noises of London.
Go on.
The most annoying at the moment is the voice of the Mayor Ken.
Yep, he's in the list.
That's the first one. The second one is the sound of silence of people of London who should not go to work until he gives up work. We don't agree with everything that he says and does, and everything that he's tried has all failed. Bendy buses, reducing congestion in London. Now, this has all failed, and he's now trying to tell us that he's going to reduce our taxes. For how long?
He said he's going to reduce our taxes. What do you mean?
Well, council taxes,
Ken Livingstone has said that.
I think I heard this afternoon that he says he's going to reduce it by 2% or keep it to inflation or something like that. This is all lies. I mean, whatever has come out of his mouth has not happened. And why people of London are standing for this? If it was in France, they'd all be up in arms and
well, they'd be pulling up paving stones and throwing them. Yeah,
right and centre.
Right.
Why do we stand for this?
Well, it's curious because he's a man who brings out strong emotions in people.
I think he's a man who's got somebody around who forces people to go and vote for him. And I don't want to mention names because I don't want somebody knock at my door and force me to vote for him.
Yeah, right. Well, I'll do an investigation. I'll get right back to you. All right.
All right.
Cheers, Farah. It's all right.
Bye.
He does. He seems to get people really annoyed. And people dislike him for all manner of reasons, among which is the way he sounds, which is unreasonable. He can't help it. But it does make you wonder how he's been so very successful. Time after time after time. I mean, he's the man that's run London more than anybody else in modern history. That's a fair comment, isn't it? And yet you're hard-pressed to meet anybody that well, when I say meet, I mean to listen to a phone call that you get on this show from anybody who actually likes the guy. Maybe it's just malcontents who would call in and bleat and moan and whine. People who actually like him would be, happily contented sitting at home, not bothering. Maybe that's what that is. It's a self-selecting bunch of people who are on the phone going, I don't like this and I don't like that. So people would be less likely to ring in to praise in much the same way that they'd be less likely to write a letter to the director of M&S if they liked their new Cardi than if they didn't. Hey, I maybe have got something there. What do you reckon? That's the old noggin working, Raj. You want to try it sometime, mate? 0845 6060 973 944. LBC Travel with Maggie Doyle.
Well, in the West End, Regent Street is closed.
On and light!
Hey, by the way, Nick, tomorrow is going to be talking about the Court of Appeal's decision to quash the 5 terror convictions and whether it tears a hole in the current terror legislation. How important will crime be in London's mayoral election? Does a woman who abandons her newborn baby deserve to go to prison? And Nick looks at the multitude of pointless public sector jobs eating up your tax money. Some of those are laugh out loud funny. Just pick up the Guardian on is it a Monday or a Wednesday? They used to have no end of them in the back there. It seems like the government had this special deal with the Guardian where it only advertised with them, which was bizarre, very suspicious. So that's some of the things that Nick will be talking about as he tackles the topics of the day tomorrow from 7 a.m. on LBC 97.3, where at the moment I'm compiling a list of London's most annoying noises for some reason that I forget now. I think it was the mosquito thing, that the anti-teenager device, and also jet noise, which a study today is suggesting that kills people. Thousands of people are killed each year by increases in blood pressure triggered by nighttime noise from aircraft. A new study has claimed. So that's how I suppose we got onto this. We've got, getting on for 30 so far. If you have any, time's running out. Cock Fosters. Hello, Sheila.
Hello, Nick.
Sheila.
It's not a land noise that annoys me. It's that awful crunching sound when you know you've gone and bitten on some eggshell whilst you're trying to enjoy an omelette or a boiled egg, and you've left in a piece of eggshell and not noticed it, and you go and crunch on it, and that sound just makes me feel ill.
Oh, yeah? I don't think I can put that down, Sheila.
Oh, all right, then.
But nice try, all right.
All right,
Cheers,
then.
minutes, all right.
Okay, bye.
You always want to check your eggs thoroughly before you sit down and enjoy them. I want you to remember that, Raj. That's not so bad. I was on holiday once, and I heartily bit into an olive, which had not been pipped for my convenience, and I cracked my tooth in half, which is the worst thing you want to do on holiday, because then you're going to have to explain your distress in a foreign language to a dentist who doesn't want to see you. Islington, Ricky.
Hello, Nick.
Ricky.
How are you?
Good, thanks.
Most annoying sound.
Yeah.
Number one, idiots with mobile phones who play the music loud.
Well, I'm surprised that hasn't come up yet. Mobile phone, like comedy mobile phone rings. In fact, any mobile phone ring that doesn't sound like an ordinary phone.
No, but you know what's worse than that, though? It's when they start playing the music on the back of a bus or something.
Yeah, we've had that.
You can't even you don't even know what's actually coming out of the sound. But
yeah, that's just it's not only annoying, but it's also crazy. It just sounds so bad that they can't possibly be enjoying it. Although, in much the same way as when you're whistling, you have a full orchestral accompaniment in your head. To everybody else, you sound like
the phone out of Star Wars.
Yeah, you sound like a bird dying. Yeah.
And number two is the worst sound. Women gossiping on trains.
Women gossiping on trains.
Really sad. I mean, I was on the Met line once, and there were these two. I think they were Australian nurses, and one was going to the other one. She goes, "Oh, she's always moaning about other people," and I thought that was quite ironic.
It's and then she said, and I said, and she said, and I said, and yeah.
Well, actually, what's worse than that nowadays is I've heard. Well, there was a bunch of about 11 or 12-year-olds, and they were boasting about their love lives, to put it kindly.
Charming.
Yes, and I was just like, amazing. Yes.
All right,
I was reading the Beano.
I'll write, despite the fact that it might upset 50% of the audience, I'll write down women gossiping.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Ricky.
Okay.
See, if I was doing annoying things, not annoying sounds, then men scratching themselves in private areas, in public. Not private areas, but in their, gentleman's area. Then I could put that alongside women gossiping and get a loud round of applause from everyone who hasn't got their hands busy. Thornton Heath. Hello, Sam.
Hello, Nick. I was saying one annoying noise is like when you're sitting on the top deck of the bus and all the children have coming home from school on the top deck, and they're all talking and really loudly, all of them, all at once.
Yeah.
That's annoying. And another one is the noises in your ear when you've got tinnitus. You can hear all buzzing and hissing, and when it's quiet and you're trying to sleep, all these noises and sound get louder and louder, and you can't sleep because of it.
The voices in your head.
Not voices, noises. Tinnitus.
Right.
And I've got a sound for you to hear. I've got my harmonica on me. I found it.
Oh, really? Oh, great. Okay, let's hear some of that now. Lay it on us, baby.
Okay.
Oh, no, we've run out of time on that call. I hate when that happens.
I was enjoying that.
Yeah, I know. It was great.
Put it back on.
A marvellous piece. Whatever it was. I think she was killing it. That poor harmonica had done no harm to anybody. Okay, the list is nearing completion. I want at least one from you two, who've contributed nothing to this show so far. And maybe if you want to get in under the wire, there's a few minutes to go. 0845 6060 973. Maybe I'll leave this old-time advice for marriage till tomorrow, because if I start on it now, it'll be... we'll just sort of run out of time. I won't give it the space that it deserves. So I start pulling some of these up off the board and we'll just speedily add some to the list. It's your call, Raj. It's your show.
Add some more.
Stockwell. Hello, Susie.
Oh, Raj. I thought Raj would answer actually first.
Well,
whatever his name is.
Sorry to disappoint you.
What would actually happen if people drove tractors and went down to Devon and come up with their tractors and drove tractors around London?
Funny, but I was thinking that just some moments ago, yeah.
Yeah, well, when you said tractors, I wondered if you meant the other tractors or the real tractors. Anyway, the most annoying noise is when people clear their throat and they've got a bad cold and they're going to gulp. And they just pass you.
Nice.
Yeah, and they go, "Ugh." No, I won't do it on the radio. People might be having something to eat.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Like
Anyway,
oysters
have a nice
or something like
holiday,
that.
a nice evening.
Thanks, Susie. Cheers, my dear. When you go to a classical music concert, it's comical. People will sit there perfectly well. They don't need to be rushed to hospital, and they're, breathing easily. And then the piece will end, the bit in the movement. I don't know what I'm talking about now, but, the music will come to an end, and then this outbreak of coughing, like everyone's just started to die, like they just put sarin gas in the place. People weren't coughing and hacking and, keeping it down during the course of the thing, but everybody feels like they're... And it's just like the entire audience has just died. That I find irritating. Like you're surrounded by... And suddenly everyone you're surrounded by goes ill. Instantly. Right, I want at least one from you two.
Alright. Mini motos.
What's that?
They're those miniature motorbikes that full-grown men or teenagers ride around on.
Well, I'm just going to put motorbikes. Why do...
No, but these are particularly annoying because they're like a little two-stroke engine in them,
right.
And they go... meow.
Mini motos, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
It sounds like a snack.
Hey, kids.
Why do motorbikes, which have very small engines compared to cars, make so much more noise than cars? I mean, I know they don't have a bonnet over them, but that's not the reason, is it? Why do they make so much noise? Is it because they can?
I think it's this type of engine and the exhaust system, if you want to get boring about it.
No. No, I'm
we
sorry
won't.
I asked. But there's no reason for it to be that noisy. There really isn't. I mean, there's such a tiny engine in comparison with any car. If cars can muffle their sound, so can motorbikes. It's just they don't want to. Right, okay. Mini motos. Your turn.
The sound of crisp bags rustling when people put the whole hand in as opposed to just picking them out.
No, that won't do. You have to come up with another one. The look on his little face. Ah. Twickenham. Hello, Rory.
Hi there.
Rory.
Annoying sounds.
Yes.
Squeaking brakes on buses or taxis, mainly.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you already had it.
No.
Now, when buses come to a halt, the whoosh, the noise they make.
Yes.
When they put on their brakes.
I'm just going to put buses.
Buses.
That'll,
And one more, I'm not sure if you've had it, car horns. You must have had it, surely.
well, car alarms, perhaps, not car horns.
Car horns with frustrated drivers that just constantly feel the need to hold down their horn.
Doodle-doo-doo.
It's going to solve all the traffic problems.
Yeah, right. It'll make them feel better, but...
Very frustrating.
Yeah. Okay, thanks a lot, Rory.
Cheers, mate.
Okay, so we've come to the end. More or less. What have you got for us, Raj? You've had plenty of time to think about it. Crisp packets. No thought went into that whatsoever.
Well, it is annoying.
Yes?
I think...
Quickly.
I can't think of anything that really annoys me that badly.
You're
Anyway,
annoying me right now.
What did we have on our list of annoying noises?
I'm glad you asked. Planes at 5:30 in the morning. Yappy dogs. Women gossiping. People chewing with their mouth open. Unexpected item in the baggage area.
Yeah.
London Underground announcements. Car alarms. Bongs in cars. Not bongs in cars. Not as in, oh, that's really far out, man. Not that kind of bong. Boy racer exhaust pipes. Minicabs. Scaffolding, swimming
What sort of
pools.
noise does a minicab make?
Oh, be quiet. People, I can't read my own writing. Supermarket bleeps. Boop. Leaf blowers, Ken Livingstone's voice, the calmness of sat-navs. Cashier number 4.
What about cashier number 5?
No, that's fine. The voice
gonna
of the
have to hurry you.
travelator. And the winner today, old people.
What?
LBC.
Buy a new Jaguar X-Type from Stratstone now for an amazing